Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle video tutorials on Affinity Photo and how to save a pattern design. So you've got a pattern design here that I've just created. I'm just going to remove it so I start completely from afresh. So it's a pattern from a shape, but of course it could be a pattern from any other source in this as well. Say a triangle. So I create a triangle, maybe create a couple of triangles if it's reasonable, and with those, just click there and change the colour a bit. So you've got a design there. Now I'm going to turn that into a pattern. Right, so next thing to do, go to a layer and pattern from selection. You can't do it because you need to convert it initially to a pixel layer. So go down to rasterize. So rasterize. So it's now that unfortunately doesn't work either because it just rasterizes one of them. There's always problems with these things. So I'm just going to quickly go and show you View, Studio and Layers. There's the layers. So you can see now, let's put it back to both triangles. They're both triangles. Select both of them. What you can do, this causes a bit, I'm not certain why it just doesn't do it automatically. It would be really great, but it doesn't. So layer menu and merge visible. So they're all merged. The key thing is it's a pixel. Okay, so you've got pixel design and that can be used as a pattern layer. Well, what you can then do, just go to a layer menu and you can just go here, new pattern layer from selection. And there it is. There's your pattern design. And you can rotate it, you can move it around. You've got the other ones as well. So if you want to remove those so they're not there, you can just see that's your pattern design there. Now it's a pixel layer, exactly as, so it's not vector design, etc. anymore. So it's probably best to create it very large and then you can obviously shrink it down, makes it a bit better for that. But how to store it? Well, assets. Obviously you can store it with documents, so you just go to File and you can say Save As. Obviously you save it as a normal conventional file, Affinity Photo format of course. But what you can also do, you can go to Assets and that's View menu. Go down to Studio and Assets. And you can see already there's one in there in the category there. So if you've got no categories, it's probably best just to go up to the top and you can create a new category. Just right side menu. That's the key thing, right side menu. Now go to the assets there. And in there you can see another. Slightly confusing the way it's done because you've got two right side menus. But now with that one selected, that's the key thing, it's selected that pattern source. You go down, click right, and then go down to Add from Selection. So Add from Selection, and then you'll see it added there. So if I remove that, remove that, remove that, remove everything, everything's gone now. If I want to bring it back, simply now it's so if I go to another document, totally fresh document, otherwise it's a bit of a, what's his name of, so let's just select something, just select one like that. There's a design there, and what you can do, you can simply go over to the assets and just drag, and you can see straight away, you can drop it on there. Now it's stored as a pixel layer, that's the key thing. So obviously if you put it to a fairly large document, it's going to be resized. And of course if you make it, obviously if I go with it, you can see what happens, it becomes a very sort of not great. So if you want to make something that works really well for this, it's best to create a pattern on a document that you're going to probably use in the future. A large document, so I would suggest always create it here. So I'm just going to quickly create it, just going to go through it all again. I'm just going to use one this time. Just go with, say, donuts. There's a donut design. Set the colour. Come on, get the colour there. Of course, it's hidden by the layers. And there's the blue there. What you can then do, I'm just going to make it really large. That's the easiest way. Just make a very large design there. Now what you can do, go to layer and you can rasterize, or you of course could use merge visible, just the same. Merge visible, just as obviously it's obviously a bigger document, so it takes a bit of time to process it and turn it into, over there you can see it's a pixel. It's no longer a vector. Just going to remove obviously the vector design. It leaves both. So you've got this vector design. What you can then do now, you might, and I'm probably going to find that I've done this wrong, but just new pattern from layer from selection. you see it gets cut off. So that's one thing to remember before you do anything like this, is just don't go over the edge. Just make certain you're within the document. You're within the document, it doesn't get sliced off. Slightly odd, you think it would say, you know what, obviously I need to be extended, but it doesn't. It does need to be within the document. So again, layer menu and rasterize. So it's rasterize going to pixel layer. And once it's done that, you can then go to layer and new pattern layer from selection. You can see the design there. Now that works a lot better with obviously a lot larger document. Now if you've got that design there, and again I'm just going to remove the other one, so just move that behind there. Again, what you can do, say create your design, say about the size that you would expect. You can then go over again to the assets and just go to the right side menu there, add from selection. Now it's quite possible, obviously, now I'm not certain where these assets are stored. Now it's not with the document, so you're not adding to your document, but this assets, obviously if you add huge assets to this assets, you might find, obviously it took a bit of time to process it, it's obviously going to be a large file or large storage space that you'll be using up, so just be aware of that. So again, what you can do, you can always just remove that, and I'm just going to remove that. So you've got this design here, and you can drag that over, and again you've got your pattern layer, and it actually, you can see it is a pattern layer, just stored as a pattern. See it there, because you can still just go down like that and just resize, and you can resize it so far, and obviously the bigger the image that you put into your pattern, then more likely that it's won't get a bit sort of not so great. So you can just go like that, and of course once you've done that, you can of course duplicate the pattern. So go to layer and you can duplicate, so you can get two, and just hopefully be able to move that one. Oh, there it is. Just move there. Try with a blue one, it actually ends up on blue, and you can't see anything. You can resize it, of course, and create all kinds of weird and wonderful. And you can also obviously modify, add adjustments, effects, and so on and so on, if you want to modify it in slightly different ways. So that's how you can store it for use in a future project. Hope you've found this of interest. That's the most one. The reason I did this one, someone asked me a question, how do I store it? Well, I must admit, I didn't know. So I had to quickly go and investigate. And of course, it's assets. I very rarely use my assets folder in Affinity Photo. I don't know why, but it's one that I sort of neglect a bit. So whenever I do this, I have to look at it again and just realise how it works. So, I'm always adding new tutorials about Photoshop, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Affinity Publisher, Illustrator, Critter, Rebel, Painter, and many others as well. Also, I'm always adding new videos to my Graphic Extras channel near enough every day, so please check it out, please subscribe of course, and also if you've got any comments, any questions, please let me know in the comments, always appreciated. Always, if I can, obviously I don't know all the answers to Affinity. I get some questions I just look at and think I'm not certain, I have no idea, and it's because they're quite, but sometimes you think, oh yes, I think I can answer that question. So also any other comments, always appreciated. A dislike or like, thank you much.